First, let's open the precision panel on the right side and change the grid type to perspective. Once we've selected that, we now have a perspective grid that we are looking at. You can go ahead and go back into that panel and click on Edit Vanishing Point in order to change the position of the vanishing point. I'm playing around with it here, but I'm just going to put it in the center just for the sake of this tutorial. Now that we've selected our vanishing point, let's open up the precision panel again and make sure drawing is selected. It is a snap to grid feature, so we want to make sure that that is selected when we open it up. I'm going ahead and making a new layer, and I'm going to start creating my perspective for the word perspective. So because I selected snap to grid, when I draw a line, my lines will snap to the perspective grid, which makes it really easy to create cool perspective letters using Adobe Fresco. So now I'm just going to go ahead and speed up this part of the video because I'm just going through each letter and adding that perspective line. So in this portion, I'm just adding the lines, and just for the bottom letters, or just for the bottom portion of each letter. So I'm going to go ahead and just add those lines, and then I'll fill them in a second. Now that I've added the majority of the bottom portion of my lines, I'm turning off the drawing snap to grid because I want to fill in those sections easily. If I had the snap to grid turned on, it would be really hard to fill in these letters quickly. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and speed up the process for filling in the bottom portion of these letters. Again, I turned off the snap to grid, but if you prefer more of a precision type of filling in your letters, I would leave it on. It would just take a bit longer to do so. So at this point, I'm just going to change the background color because I want my perspective letters to pop out a bit more on my page. So I'm just making sure that this is a pixel layer, and I'm changing the color. I'm just going to make it a little bit darker pink just so you guys can see more of my perspective. So now that I've done that, I will continue adding colors. I'm going to create a new layer for the sides of the letters. I've already done so, which is the white portion of my perspective. So all of the white is all of the portions of the letter that are on the side of it. The gray is all the portions of the letter that are on the bottom of the letter. So again, I will speed up this process of me filling in those sides of the letter with the color white. You can go ahead and turn on and off the drawing snap to grid feature. I like to turn it on and off just depending on when I'm filling in the sections. For here, I'm just turning it off because I want to fill in those sections quickly instead of having it turned on. So again, I'm just kind of going back and forth between the gray and the white. I'm going to continue with the bottom of my letters with the gray here. Sometimes you kind of miss it as you're going. And I'll turn on again like the drawing snap to grid whenever I want there to be a straight line. I also use it for the eraser tool, so in case I want to clean up those lines, I'll make sure that the drawing snap to grid is turned on, and then I can have those clean lines using the eraser. So again, I'm just continuing to add the color here. As I was doing this, I figured I would change the colors just because it feels kind of bland with just the gray and the white and the black. But before that, I did duplicate the layers of shadow just so that they come out darker on the page. But I'm going to go ahead and just add color to those layers anyway. I'm merging the layers of the shadows. So the two gray layers are merged into one, the two white layers are merged into one, and the perspective, I will merge those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add color to my gray area, and I'm going to pick a darker pink just so it matches the background, and then I'll change the color for the white as well. I want to make it more of a kind of lighter pink, not super light, but light enough that it pops off the page. So again, I'm just going through and changing the colors. For perspective, I kind of wanted to just leave it white. I'm playing around with it here, but you can see I'm seeing what works and what doesn't. But I'm going to go ahead and just make the whole entire word white. Okay, now that I've made the whole word white, I'm going to go ahead and add that lighter pink, kind of a mid pink on the side of my letters. So that side shadow that was originally white, I'm just making it a kind of mid pink, so in between the dark and in between the background color. I just want it to pop off the page as well. So I'm just going through and adding that lighter pink on the sides of each letter on this section. Okay, so I'm just continuing to add that light pink to the side of my letters. And again, I'm just going to speed up this process because it is a bit time consuming doing this part. But again, I'm turning on my snap to grid at some moments, and then turning it off whenever I'm filling in those portions. So you can see here, that's when I turn it on, and then sometimes I just turn it off just to make it easier on me whenever I'm filling in those letters. And now I've pretty much finished filling in all of the letters of my perspective sections, and you can see it turned out really cool, and it's just really easy to use the perspective tool in Adobe Fresco to create these cool effects with your lettering. So again, I'm just turning off the grid here just so we can have a better look at what it looks like. So you could just go back to your precision panel and then just switch off grids, and it'll turn off the grid on your page. And that is how you can create cool perspective in Adobe Fresco.